Welcome everyone. This is our continuing series of Q&A events with candidates for Cincinnati City Council and Mayor. I'm Nicole with Together We Will of Cincinnati and Southwest Ohio, and I am here with City Council candidate Manuel Foggie.
Hello.
Also joining us today are Lindsay and Tamra from Cincinnati State's ASL program. Thank you both for being here. While I am talking, we are connecting this live feed to a few other progressive area groups, including Together We Will Cincinnati East, United We Stand, and Indivisible for All, to name a few. So I'm just going to go over the procedure for commenting with your questions while we're waiting for everybody to link up. If you have a question for Manuel, please submit it to us during this live event. To do that, click on the feed itself, which means click on the link to the feed or the video, and then you'll have an option to comment on the live feed. If you comment with your question, our lovely backstage people will relay it to me here, and I'll see it pop up on my computer, and I will stop what I'm doing and I will ask Manuel. Note that if you comment on the post instead of the feed, we won't be able to see it and we won't be able to relay your question. Also, occasionally Facebook doesn't show us a question that's been typed in, so if we don't get to your question, that may have happened, feel free to ask it again. If you do not catch this entire live event, we are recording it and we will post a link later so you can watch the whole thing. And be sure to check out our previous Q&A events, and of course watch for upcoming events. Next week, for instance, we're interviewing Rob Richardson and Yvette Simpson. How are we doing on links?
Still working on it.
Okay, so let me just repeat the comment procedure for those of you who are just chiming in. We are Together We Will Cincinnati and Southwest Ohio, and we are here with Manuel Foggie, Cincinnati City Council candidate. In order to ask Manuel a question in this event, please comment on the live feed with your question, and it will be relayed to me here. I'll see it on my computer. Do check for future events and look for links to our past Q&A events as well if you want to catch up. We will be posting a link to the whole Q&A in case you miss any of it. Yeah? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Manuel. We were just talking, Manuel has been doing a ton of school. So he attended Northwest High School where he was on the football team. He also attended the Butler Tech Career Technology Center in firefighting, where he got a certification in that. So he is actually a certified firefighter. And he has also attended Xavier for a semester, and he did ROTC at University of Cincinnati for 3 semesters. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And he's now at Mount St. Joseph, where you are part of the football team there too?
Yes.
Okay. And he's a campus ambassador and part of the Student Government Association. Yes. And on top of all that, he works as a private investigator. So he is very, very busy. He is the founder and president of Campus Club Leaders of Tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes. And that aims to steer youth down the road to success. That's the mission statement there. And your campaign motto is Together We Can Make a Difference by Educating and Engaging Our Communities.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. You can catch Manuel, sorry.
No problem, no problem.
On Twitter at Manuel Foggie, on the internet at Manuel Foggie for Cincinnati Council, or for City Council, yes. And on Facebook at Foggie for Cincinnati. So if you want to tab over while we are asking questions and check that out, see if you have any questions for Manuel, please do. And at this point, I am going to let you speak about your campaign.
Okay, so again, my name is Manuel Foggie. I'm actually the youngest runner for Cincinnati City Council. I'm 19 years old. And my platform is a whole lot of issues, but my top 3 are public transportation, public education, and public safety, because those are the 3 issues, I see that directly and indirectly impact everyone in every neighborhood across Cincinnati. And if we can get those issues taken care of, our residents will be better off in the future. So.
Great. You ready for questions?
Oh yeah.
All right. I'm going to start you out with a general question, which is, what are your exact responsibilities to the city and its constituents?
Number one is being a leader. We actually need a leader on city council that will step up and not actually just promote good relations with his colleagues, but also promote good relations with the residents of Cincinnati, because the residents need someone they can trust on city council, and also making decisions that impact everyday lives. So that's something I would promote, and also make sure everyone around Cincinnati is heard, no matter the age group. A whole lot of us minorities and young people don't get their point across as clear as they can, and also some of the older folks don't feel that their point is heard before the decision is made. So I will be that leader that actually have their decisions and their models actually going along with the final progress and the final outcome. So that's what I'll stand for.
All right. And then you've addressed this a little bit, but I'm going to ask specifically, how do you plan to address the needs of all your constituents, rather than just those of your party, for example?
I believe we have to get everyone involved, no matter what. So involvement from residents across the 52 neighborhoods we have, it is huge in my eyes, because if we're making decisions based on everyday activities with different lives, these lives need to be in there making a difference. So I will actually be in the streets fighting with the residents and fighting for the residents, no matter the race, ethnicity, the party as well. So I'll just stand up for what's right, and if it's a good thing for every resident, or mostly every resident in the city of Cincinnati, then why not adopt it? So I'll be that one, just making sure everything is right and not just trying solutions just to try them and see if they work. So our city is not guinea pigs, so we shouldn't actually treat our city like guinea pigs and just keep testing theories. So.
Have you seen that happen?
Just in politics in general, some people feel that some constituents feel that their opinion don't matter, when it actually does matter in the decision-making process, because we're the ones that actually affecting as constituents. So if I can be that voice and change the whole political mindset, and actually know that, hey, this is a politician that will work for me to put in the policy in place for me and my family to do better, then he's the one I can count on. I want to be that one that you can count on, because it's not going to happen with just me. I'm only one person and a one-man show, and I don't have all the ideas in my head, so it actually have to come from the residents themselves. So I want to be that voice for the ones that don't have a voice, and I want to be that voice for the ones that actually do have a voice, but it's not getting across to everyone.
Okay, thank you. So as you are no doubt aware, as everyone is aware, there's a big political divide right now between the two main parties. Do you have any proposals for healing that divide?
I do. It's just, like I said, we need to come together. Actually just sit down and to put the politics to the side, and actually stand up for what's right for residents. And if it's right for residents, put it into place. If it seems like only 1% of residents or one population of residents will understand and get the benefits of this proposal, why propose it? We shouldn't do that. Actually, take the media out, because the media kind of put words into politicians' mouths that actually doesn't belong there. So actually just sitting down with your colleagues, making a day-to-day plan, and meeting and setting up different meetings, and also setting up different meetings with your community council as well, because the community council know more what's going on in their community than you actually do as a city council member, because they're actually living in that neighborhood. You can't live in all 52 neighborhoods. So if you connect with at least a council member in every 52 neighborhood, then you can address your city in a well better place.
Oh, that's a great idea. Thank you. How will you guarantee that you're working for your constituents and not special interests?
Just getting involved, being out there. So actually putting their ideas into place. So asking them, what is your issue? And not just saying, this is what I have. Because I can have so much and they only help so little many of people. But if the people have the same goal and the same mindset, and I'm actually asking them, what is your issue? And they tell me their issue, and I keep hearing the same issue repeated, then it's time to change something. It's not going to be done overnight, but we can get it done together. So together we can make our city different.
Okay. How can constituents hold you accountable?
They can hold me accountable by just keeping me in charge and reaching out to me and just knowing that I'll be there fighting with them, because they will always see me there. Easy contact. So you want to hold me accountable, just give me something and see how fast I get it done. And if it's every resident will have a top priority, because they're the ones I'll be working for. I'm not working for myself. I'm working for the 52 neighborhoods and each resident in that 52 neighborhood. So actually just hit me up, say, hey, this is a problem in my neighborhood. Other people see it as a problem. So that's when we'll just sit down and have a meeting and just see what is that problem. So then I recognize it and see what issue can we solve. What solutions can we solve to this issue? And then just go at it that way and just make sure the people they're interacting with me, because I'm a people person. I love to interact. So come hold me accountable as much as you can.
All right. How will you work within the council and local government to move the city forward from here?
I will work with every level of government, because the local level is the most important level in my eyes, because in order to know what's happening at the federal and the state level, we have to get everything at the local level. So if I work with my local level, we come up with issues and solutions. We get that prioritized and step it up to the state and say, hey, this is our issues in our city, and can we address it? You just have to work. You just have to have communication with everyone. Communication is the key in every situation. So we need to communicate at every form of government in my eyes, and actually working with them and not just saying, I don't understand why that is that way. It should be this way. Actually, let's bring both of our differences together and work on a solution. Okay.
How do you feel about Cincinnati's sanctuary status? Would you keep it?
I would. Having our city as a more diverse city and a more welcoming city, as the United States Constitution say, liberty and justice for all. So let's bring that for everyone. What I do is diversity and inclusion. I love it. So keep it coming, keeping our city more diverse, and you learning from different other people every day. And also from being a sanctuary city, I will stand with the immigrants to make sure they're able to contact the police and also able to get their issues met as well, because I don't want to have that moment where someone don't feel safe in their city because their immigration status. So I will keep it to the best of my ability as I can.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You've mentioned race as a divider in the city.
Yes.
What is your plan for taking on racial healing in this community, and how does it differ from what has been done in the past?
Well, I feel our race in our community, what we need to do, we need to come together. So we have different like get-togethers around Cincinnati area that utilize for everyone, that everyone can come to, no matter the age and gender. So get together, play games, and just actually socialize and just talk to each other as humans. So we just need to propose that as a city, adopt that day where this is a day where the city supports each and every culture and every race. So we just have a day probably twice a year, or just something to bring our city together, something safe and generalized for the whole population to attend. So that's very important.
Well, thank you. We have some questions from our live audience. One is, do you have an agenda for Black people?
An agenda for Black people? I would like to hear more of that question, because I do feel that just not only does black people have an agenda, but like also by myself being African American, I do see issues that are concerning the black neighborhoods, and also the black neighborhoods have to actually get treated better than the other neighborhoods as well. So black neighborhoods are primarily like kept out of focus. So we also need to actually keep them into focus, and also everyone has a voice. That's why my motto is together we can. So together we can change the way we interact, even with the African Americans and white people as well, and Hispanics and Latinos and everyone else. So.
Okay. And we have a second question, which is, how do you feel about privatizing our trash service to balance the budget?
I don't feel like we should privatize anything because bring in those city workers and just get this jobs that will be cutting and that will be just going away. I understand that our budget have a huge impact right now, but I feel that privatizing trash, police officers, fire, anything else that our city needs and is not a smart idea at all, because say the privatized people, they will go up on their rates. The trash won't get picked up, or it's not a weekly trash pickup day like we have now. I feel comfortable with the trash system we have now, just knowing that my trash will get picked up every Monday, and not saying will they come this Monday or next Monday. So I don't think that will be my first go-to to cut down on the city budget.
Okay, thank you. You mentioned public transportation.
Yes.
So I'm just going to jump to that subject right now.
Mm-hmm.
How would you help alleviate poverty in Cincinnati by improving the bus system and public transportation?
I believe our bus system, it needs a whole lot of work. So with our public transportation system, we need to expand it out for more jobs, because if a parent lives in downtown Cincinnati and they see a job opening in Mason, Ohio, and they don't have the funds or the necessities to get to Mason every day, they won't even take that offer at all. They won't even apply for it. But if we have bus routes that go up to Mason, like deep in Mason, and actually is a convenient way to work, and workers can actually feel comfortable with taking the bus to work and getting there on time, that's what we need to do, and that will cut down on the poverty level in my eyes, because faster transportation, smaller transportation, and more investment into the transportation system from everyone in will actually encounter more jobs coming in, more jobs and revenue coming into our city, and also tourism. By attracting people out farther, they will, instead of someone living in Westchester driving all the way down to the city of Cincinnati, they can just hop on a bus, come to the city of Cincinnati, and go to that Paul Brown Stadium, or go to Great American Ballpark or the U.S. Bank Arena. So that will bring revenue in everywhere, and also it's job, and also revenue and jobs in our city is a wonderful thing in my eyes. So tax rates will go down and everything else. Okay,
you mentioned smaller.
Yes, smaller buses. So our buses are actually large. Not cut down on super mini buses, but actually smaller buses that actually can go at a fixed speed, that actually can pick up speed, because buses now they're not that fast. So if we get them smaller, better engine, then they'll go faster in my eyes, because they don't have to carry that much weight they have. Of course, the bus passengers will get cut down, but if the buses are going all the way out and everyone is not taking that bus, it shouldn't be that large going out. It should be smaller in my eyes, and smaller and faster, and get the job done. And, every resident can count on that bus.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then generally, what are your plans for underserved or in-need communities?
Developing in every neighborhood, because development is key to make sure our city is efficient to run and compete with other cities in the states that are in the United States. So we need to develop and make sure that during that development we make sure that everyone can actually utilize that development option we had. So not develop so much that the ones that live there cannot afford it. So if we develop it, make sure we have affordable housing, and also make sure that plans to keep residents into their community, into their home-built community, and also have the residents develop the neighborhood with you, no matter what, if it's just a contract construction coming in, but also build up the community garden. Just make our community bright that everyone can use. So. little community involvement and development for everyone. We'll have our city, I think, in good hands and good shape.
Okay. And then one more public transportation question. Are there any initiatives in public transportation that we haven't already discussed that you're planning to support or introduce?
The traffic reconstruction of every road. So if we want our buses and cars to drive efficiently on the road, we have to make sure our road is upkept. So keeping the roads together, and also getting a light system checked. So actually getting our light system in historical times, getting them checked from this how this light works and this how this light works, because our signal, our intersections has changed a lot throughout throughout Cincinnati's history, but have our light system actually changed with that? They haven't. So they just build a new turning lane here and just throw a light up, or build a turning lane here and just throw a light up. So those lights are not synchronized. So I believe we have synchronization in our light system, the traffic will move more faster and also more fluently, and our residents won't have to worry about this car turning and they're turning at the same time and causing a collision. So saving our residents money as well. So.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a few more questions coming in. How would you address police-community relations?
That's a good one. I'm a private investigator, so I love that question. I believe that we have to have police relations with the community. That's the only one. That's the only problem that I see in our community, police department right now. We need to have community relations and police relations. They should be like white on rice. It should be tight, because I want to know who's protecting and serving me in my neighborhood, and I also want to know as a police officer, who am I protecting, and what is not supposed to be in my neighborhood and what is in my neighborhood. So I believe that our police force should interact with the residents, and the residents should interact with the police force, and that also will cut down on crime a lot. Because if I know Manuel from 7744, a house number, I'll be like, okay, I know that guy. I can count on that guy, and he can tell me what's going on in the neighborhood. Or also, if the police come into my neighborhood, we just greet them like firefighters. Firefighters get the utmost respect, so we need our police officers to get the utmost respect as well. They're doing a dangerous job of putting their life on the line. So I promote community relations with the police.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just going to pause right here and repeat how to ask questions on the live feed. If you would like to ask a question, click on the link or the live feed itself, and then comment with any questions you have for Manuel, and they'll be relayed to me here. We have a question. What steps will you take to make sure that rallying, such as the Women's March, does not incur huge costs related to permits and police presence? We understand that closing down streets is expensive, but even without closing streets, we are seeing thousands of dollars worth of fees.
So I will see what can we do about this march. Where do the community see that the march should move to, or if we should even move the march from? I believe it was downtown Cincinnati, the huge one. So with that being said, some people was complaining that they wasn't able to use the bus service on that street because the streets was closed that day, or closed for a period of time that day. So I will actually just see where else can we have this march that everyone feel equally divided, because it's not going to happen overnight where I just come up with ideas and say, hey, we're just going to just keep it on Washington Park and we just don't march. Or we do it like the Martin Luther King Day. We close the road soon as the marchers are marching that way. So if we just close it as they're marching that way and not just close it for a good hour and a half, 2 hours, then we can do it that way. Because as Martin Luther King march, the police officers see us coming up that way and they just stop that traffic right there till we march. Then they stop the next traffic. So if we can get that police and police relationship where it can just be that smooth of a transition, that would be great. So.
Okay. All right, thank you. I will jump up to a different topic since you mentioned police relationships with the community. How would you support diversity training for law enforcement officers and first responders in dealing with things like mental illness and unconscious bias?
So that comes again with community relations. Actually knowing who's in your community and what's being done in your community that you're protecting and serving. And also that as through the academy, the police academy, I don't know if they do it there, but in our private investigator academy, we have to interact with different people from different backgrounds and different ethnicity groups, just to see how we react in our own eyes, and also just experiencing department training with different other departments. Because of course a rural neighborhood is going to handle things different than the city neighborhoods will, city police officers. So we can come back in partnership with another police department to actually figure out what are they doing in situations like this, and how can we be better in situations like this. That will go great with actually bringing police departments together all through the nation, all through our city, of course. So.
Okay, all right. And do you have any proposals for programs that would reduce the number of incidents of gun violence in the city?
Just bringing everyone back together in a centralized location, saying this is what we're doing in this neighborhood, so let's just all come together as one, because at the end of the day, we're one Cincinnati. I'm middle class, low class, high class, we're all one Cincinnati still. So if we can just bring everything together, and also the program I would put to stop gun violence is also invest into our community watch groups, get them trained and they can defend themselves, and if time needs to be, where they just get out and talk to the neighborhood, and also have that backup of police officers as another set of eyes, saying this is what happened, that can cut down on gun violence as well. Because as of right now, we have a large amount of gun violence happening this year alone, and we're not even halfway through the year yet. So community watch groups going on, and also bringing because the police can't be everywhere, so if we bring in the police and community, that's also another community relationship understanding right there, because as this community holds and the police officer holds, they come together and working together to stop crime. So.
Okay. Do you mind if I follow up on that a little bit? So you mentioned community watch groups defending themselves.
Yes.
Are you thinking armed community watch groups, or what are you thinking in terms of that?
We could have some armed community watch groups, but overall, I was thinking just self-defense, number one. So just being an extra eye in the community that's watching over the community when the police is not there. So they can't be everywhere. So if we do have a watch group of 2 men that's carry concealed certified, and also want to carry their gun around, or a couple females that's carry concealed as well. So if that's what they want to do, they're able to take it along the routes with them when they're walking the streets, just for their protection, and not just for saying our neighborhoods are not safe at all. So. Okay.
All right. Would you recognize any unjust shootings in Cincinnati in recent years, and if so, which ones?
Unjust. I can't say unjust shootings because I'm in the legal field as well. So actually, I can't speak on the situations that happened with police officers and unjust shootings, because I wasn't there. I wasn't in that officer's shoes. I wasn't thinking about what the officer was doing. But if I could picture myself in those shoes, maybe I'll be able to better answer that question. But as of right now, I can't put myself in their shoes to answer that question.
Okay. Thank you for answering. And should you find yourself on city council in a situation where there is a police shooting that the community is decrying as unjust, do you envision any kind of policies or approaches for fair prosecution in those situations?
Again, that's when the city and the county have to work together, because they will be in the county courts. So I would just say that we just hold our composure as a city and don't go tear up everything in our city. Just come together as people and just out-listen to the verdict. If we don't agree with the verdict, let's go about it the legal way, and not just take matters into our own hands, because that can make things actually worse than they are. So if we just come together as a community and just keep our community safe, and just follow protocols and the law as they should be. I feel that we should be better as a city.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to switch gears just a little bit here to talk about other public health issues. So, for instance, the heroin epidemic that we're experiencing right now, how would you propose addressing that?
It's an addiction. So
yeah,
what an addiction is you need help. So I would propose that we get more help groups and not so much more criminalization. Because if we criminalize a person, they're going to be in jail for, let's say, a year, and through that jail time, we don't know what's in the jail. So maybe they could be still using it or still having like withdrawals from it. But actually getting in there, placing a plan to get these people help, and actually saying that they're not alone. And maybe was why are they taking a drug? Because some people are taking a drug because they're depressed. Why are you depressed? I don't have the money. I don't have a job. I don't have nobody there for me. So let's just help people as a stepping stone. And that's why I want to say together we can. Because I'm not going to turn down no one from help. If you say you need help, let's go get help together. I'm not going to let you sit there and fight alone. I'm going to fight there with you and be there with you to the whole end. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And then, so what is the city's responsibility related to public health in terms of the role you would propose city government play in population health management and the resolution of health disparities?
I believe that we need to promote protecting our health. This is the well-being of people in our city. So it's having that hand sanitizer pump down at the wall at Washington Park. Just wash your hands. So we can't stay. We gotta stay clean, and also using giving it stand in touch with our communicable diseases. So just having centers or health gaps. Just being there, getting yearly physicals, just promoting good health to our residents, because at the end of the day, we all need to get that 1 year health screening. It's up to you if you don't. So, but as a city official, I would say I will agree with it. We have to come together. We have to keep each other accountable and keep each other safe, and making sure that everyone is not addicted to things such as alcohol and heroin as well. So if we can get our addictions away from us and just come together and combat it together, we'll be better off as a city, and we actually believe in our city leader. So that will be me. So just want to be there and just helping hand and just not talk about politics, but talk about people. Because at the end of the day, I'm not here fighting for policies I disagree with or I agree with. But if the policies doesn't meet the people perspectives, then yes, I have a problem with it, because my people don't want it. So why should we have to take it? So I'll be there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So speaking of public health again, would you support Planned Parenthood in Southwest Ohio? Do you support women's health care in Southwest Ohio?
I do support Planned Parenthood and women's health, because it's their choice, how they go about their situations, how they go about their things. And also I do support the medical expense as well. So I'm not the medical expense, but the medical care. So women has rights, and women need to be protected as much as anyone else in this country, in the city. So it's that male, female, or the others out there. So
okay. And do you have any plans to address things like the spread of HIV and syphilis in the city?
Again, just being protected. So just protecting yourself against that stuff. So just daily washing your hands, daily going to get checks, making sure your body is healthy, and also a plan to combat that is just having health fairs out in our city like we have now. I believe we have the Health Expo coming up here, and you see doctors, nurses out there that's willing to help you. So we can keep that in our neighborhoods, and actually keeping our residents affirming their health. We'll be one of the rock and roll cities we can actually be. Like, we have healthy residents, and also low crime residents, and also a city that's making revenue. That's the city vision I have for our city. So,
all right. I'm just going to pause here and say hello to anybody who might just be joining us. I'm Nicole with Together We Will, Cincinnati and Southwest Ohio. I'm here with Manuel Foggie, who is a candidate for Cincinnati City Council. If you have a question for Manuel, we would really like to hear it. All you have to do is click on the feed and then comment with whatever your question is, and I will see it pop up here. So please do ask questions. I'm going to switch gears just a little bit and talk about the LGBTQ community. So would you, as you know, that there have been local communities and states who have limited the rights of LGBTQ community members in terms of using the public restrooms in which they feel safest and in terms of adoption and things like that. How would you support the city's LGBTQ community?
I'll support it as best as I can. So everyone have equal and fair rights. And if I'm feeling safe in the bathroom, why shouldn't they feel safe in the bathroom? So if they want to go to a safe bathroom where they feel safe and comfortable at, by all means, have at it. Because I'm sure that they just want to use the restroom and get themselves together just as I want to, and as I have the right to feel safe when I'm using the facilities in our city. So a plan I would have is just supporting their community and having everyone come together and see how we can combat this issue. Again, that I'm not just making a policy that I think that is great, but actually that we all can come together and form a solution that we all think that's great. So, like I said, I'm only one person in one role, and I don't have all the answers, so have to come together and get the answers out together.
Would you oppose legislation that limited the rights of LGBTQ community members?
I would, because they should have the same rights as I have.
Great. Thank you. Let's see here. What have we got? I want to ask you a little bit about some other issues that are tangentially related to this, such as accessibility in Cincinnati. How would you go about improving that? Some of the issues might include accessible buses, relay instead of TTY, accessibility of jails in City Hall, and interpreters and captions for live events.
Just making sure everyone has that right. So with our bus service, that's my number one goal. I want to make sure it's accessible to everyone. I want the Mount Washington to get the same service as the Westwood people, and I also want the Westwood people to get the same bus service as the Hartwell people. So we all need to have the same access and the same responsibilities to everything in our city, and also through everything else. We also just need to bring it all back together and make sure that everyone have the input and the voice that they can have concerning their city, because the 9 members and councilmen are not the only ones that are living in all 52 neighborhoods. So that their voices have to be heard. So I would accommodate each and everyone that wants to have their voice heard. So if we're not doing something right, just come call me, knock on the door, say this is my issue and this is how it's affecting my community or our community. So just being there open, just taking in everything. So just making sure everyone, the moms, the dads, and everyone else that have that late day, that they can still get their point across and actually attend some of our meetings or not all our meetings that we like to have. So that's what I'll propose, to just talk to me and I'll talk to you and we'll make everything accessible.
Okay. And how do you feel about so-called religious freedom legislation, which it's called religious freedom legislation, but typically its purpose is the opposite. It allows for discrimination on the basis of one's religious beliefs. Would you oppose that?
I do oppose of it, because we all should be diverse. We all have our outcome. If you're Catholic, I'm Christian, you're Baptist, I'm whatever out there. So we should respect everyone's religion. Just like I said, we all should have the same respect for one another that we want ourselves. So it's like, mom used to tell me in school, you treat others how you want to be treated. So I don't want another one to criticize me because I'm a Catholic or a Christian or a Baptist, but actually seeing me for who I am as a person and not for what I stand for.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask you a technical question now, which is, what is the current condition of Cincinnati's water treatment plants?
I believe that we need to come together, the city and the county, to get this issue solved. Because one, I want to take responsibility. One, I want to work with the other to get this issue met. So if we're just going to keep playing that it's not my responsibility, it's your responsibility, and vice versa, we're not going to get nothing accomplished. I know that, and I'm only 19 years old. So if we want to come together, put our differences, put our differences aside and say, this is for our residents. We have to do this for our residents, for those water bills can go down, because they're like skyrocketing high right now. But if that's cutting the political divide in my eyes, because I'm working with this person to accommodate this person, to accommodate this person, to actually accommodate my residents at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, it's about the respect and quality of my residents that I'll stand for and that I'm the voice and leader for.
Sorry, when you mentioned the county and the city working together, are you talking about the sewers or the water system, or both?
I'm talking about both.
Okay. So
just have to come together and cut that differences. Because at the end of the day, us bickering and fighting, this is not going to do nothing but prolong the situation. So just make sure it's accommodating for both. Okay.
And do you have any comment on the current pollution levels in Mill Creek and Ohio River?
I do believe that we should have a clean river. That's the same water that we use in our houses and homes. So if we can get that together and actually make sure our neighborhoods are healthy, greener, and leaner, we can actually grow together and be more healthy, and also digest waste and not take in waste and digest more waste. Does that make sense? So just,
can you be a little more concrete about what you mean by digest waste and not?
Because it's like, if our river and Mill Creeks are not so clean and they come into our systems are only clean so much. So we're still getting waste that we threw out of our bodies back into our bodies. You understand what I'm saying?
I see.
Yeah, so
got it.
That's all I'll spill on that note.
You don't want to go into further detail on that?
Not really. I actually haven't thought about that question, to be honestly. But if I do, you can catch it on my, you can fill out a Foggie card to follow up with me on that, actually, after I investigate into that detail.
Okay.
But I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't looked into that actual question, so I can't give a strong reason.
Okay, and if you're watching and you're wondering what a Foggie card is, it's a contact form on your website?
Yes, it's a contact form that you can interact on my website with, and I'll also hear your concerns, and also you hear my issues that I have for our city. So it's another way that you can keep me accountable, knowing that I will hear you. I will hear you out, not just as a candidate, but also as a council member myself. So.
All right. We have another question coming in. What is your plan to deal with our city's food deserts?
We have to support those food deserts, because we have families that actually live their day-to-day life from food deserts. So I have a mom who's running, or a father who's running low on food and actually needs something to feed their children. We actually have to keep them stocked for we can go home and make sure we have a meal prepared for our families, because at the end of the day, it's going to be hard waking up, going to school or going to work, knowing that you're hungry because you didn't have food for the next day. So if we can get those more healthier food options and fresh food and fruits in our food deserts, and not so much canned and processed food, I feel that we will be a much more healthier city.
Do you give any concrete ideas about that at this moment? Or?
We would just have. I say we have to invest into our food deserts. We don't have. I feel that we don't have enough. We have the Free Store Food Bank. We have St. Vincent de Paul. We have some food deserts out here, but I feel that we need more. I feel that we should have at least one next to each neighborhood, and not all in the one generalized area. And if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. About having more fresh fruit and food that's accessible to our families in the city. Mm-hmm. So that's how I feel.
Do you have any concrete plans to like draw grocery stores to areas that lack grocery stores at the moment?
Yes, we need to keep our grocery stores. I see the one in one of Hills was closed now.
Yeah.
That was only closed down because the residents didn't feel that that store could get their money because their food is not fresh. If I'm going to a grocery store and spending money, it should be fresh. So we should keep our neighborhoods grocery stores, actually keep them accountable for what they're selling. Because if they're selling me a piece of crap, I don't want to keep going back spending my money on a piece of crap that's not even fulfilling to me and my family. So actually going in, testing them, and making sure that what we're funding into and actually what our residents are getting are actually good and healthy for their body.
Thank you. We have a question coming in. What keeps you up at night? What do you worry about that could affect being on Cincinnati Council, or that you could affect being on City Council?
What keeps me up at night is the future of our city. What I'm saying is our students, because I'm a student myself. So okay. I feel that just graduating with a high school diploma your city didn't, or your school didn't make you a well-rounded person. Because myself, I went to a career technical school where I graduated as a certified firefighter. That's a $34,000 career I could just go into and just live in a middle class, high class area. So if we had our students out, and also making sure that jobs are being more accessible, and making sure that everyone is a secondary education, not just considering college, we'll be more driven as a community to come out of poverty and actually bring up revenue and make sure that everyone wants to invest into our students' education. Because if we bringing out top-notch students, people say, I want that student from Cincinnati Public Schools to work for me, because what they're producing out there, what they're producing in those city schools, actually great products. And actually I want to be the face of my Fortune 500 company. And if we had more students with Fortune 500 opportunities, that would be like a shocker to every other city around this city of Cincinnati, because they would say, wow, this city that was just giving out high school diplomas to students, telling them to go flip cheeseburgers at McDonald's after graduation, actually has a career the next day after that graduation day. That's what keeps me up.
Okay. It is around 7:20, I believe, and I just wanted to let everybody know that we're probably close to wrapping up. So if you have any last minute questions you want to get in, now would be the time to do that. Just comment on the feed with your question, and I will be happy to ask.
Or don't forget to go fill out that Foggie card. So
yeah.
I'll get back with you, leave your contact information, and hey, we can be a good connection.
What was the moment when you decided to run, and what happened at that point, and what did you learn?
I decided I was going to run for city council in November. After I went to go vote, it was the last minute I walked out of the voting pool. I said, well, what do I want to do with my life? Because I planned my life out as a 10-year plan. Okay. So as I walked out, I was thinking about my future. So I said, I say I want to be the president. I say I want to be a governor. I say I want to be a senator. But why do I want to make it so far and so high? Just right off the jump, just jumping out there, making a leap. So then a light bulb kicked in my head and said, why don't I just run for city council to actually make policies and protect the ones I actually love and care about? And that's the ones in my city. That actually, when I put on a job application to say, where are you from? I say Cincinnati. I want people to say, that's that city that everyone is coming out of with a bright future ahead of them. So called my mom and said, "Hey, how about you? You think I got a chance at running for Cincinnati City Council?" She said, "Sure, if you want to, go ahead and do it, but where are you getting this from? You said you want to be a lawyer." So I was like, just the idea. So I went down to the BOE, picked up my packet, and said, "You know what? I'm gonna do it." Only thing I can take away from this is learning opportunity. So it can pretty much be a failure if I lose. I learned a lot, and I met a whole lot of people on the way, and it's not going to shut down for me stopping running in the next 4 years. So.
All right. Let's see. We have quite a few questions left. Let me look and see what we've got. Let's talk a little bit about education, since we've been discussing that already. How will you ensure that public schools are providing comparable and competitive education, regardless of race or economic status of students?
That's a good one. That's like me saying earlier, that we all have to be getting the same type of material as the ones in the high class neighborhoods. I didn't go to Cincinnati Public, but my little brother is in Cincinnati Public right now. So I believe that we, as Cincinnati City Council and plus the mayor of Cincinnati, connect with the Board of Education and actually come to a plan. Cincinnati City Council have a goal in mind or a vision that they see their students, and also the BOE, the Board of Education. So if we can both come together and bring our vision together and make sure we're a well-rounded student, because we only can do so much, because most of it is state issue-wide. So Board of Elections and City Council and the mayor come together, seeing a vision for our city and our kids of what are we investing into. Should be this vision and this type of vision, this type of well-rounded student. Then let's make that happen. And this is why we invest in our tax dollars into our school system, for we can have a well-rounded individual leading our country one day, or leading our city.
Okay, thank you. And do you support any type of education improvements, such as early education or child care expansion?
I do support early education and child care expansion, because I was in Head Start myself. By me being in Head Start, I jumped out into kindergarten, and I was well prepared to take on different tasks that a normal kindergartner wouldn't have took on, just coming straight off from daycare to home. So Head Start helped me out a whole lot in my education career. So if we can get that into every neighborhood and every child can take access to that type of learning experience, that these kids would just be Einsteins, and we would just have nothing but success coming out of our school systems.
All right. At this point, I am going to let you wrap up a little bit. Do you have any closing remarks you'd like to share with us?
Again, I would like to thank you for inviting me to do this live session. Together we will, bringing me on to do something like this. I appreciate it. And also, if anyone is going to give me a call or interact with my website, my number is 513-601-3348. Again, that's 513-601-3348. Or you can email me at any time at foggie4cincinnati@gmail.com. Also interact with my website. That'll be the best key, and that'll get you direct to anywhere you want to be with me, on the web, an email, or on the phone. Just go to www.manuelfoggie4citycouncil.com, and you can get in touch with me that way. But also, I want you to go fill out a Foggie card. That's the only way I can hear your voice and hear what you have to say. So, thank you.
Thank you for being with us. I really appreciate you answering all our questions. Thank you for being with us and for your questions. Keep in mind, we do have upcoming Q&A events next week. We are speaking with Rob Richardson and Yvette Simpson. We will have archived links to this Q&A and to previous Q&A events. And if you are looking for a way to follow all of the Cincinnati candidates on Twitter in one fell swoop, check us out on Twitter. We're at TWWSWOH, and we have a list you can subscribe to that gets you a subscription to all of the candidates at once. public service announcement, it's early voting for the mayoral primary. If you need help, reach out to your candidates. And that's it for this evening. Thank you so much for joining us.